Morning, everybody. Welcome. Today we're going to make a fun, and just really still on this whole floppy card thing because they're just so much fun. I don't know. It's a little bit more than just a regular card, and I get to create on multiple sides. And today we're going to do another one that has a fun little shaker element attached to it. And these could not be simpler because these are little sets that you can get from Tonic. And they already come as these little shaker star cards. It's just think they're so much fun. And they come with a die to help you cut. And then I added my own star dies to kind of accentuate and add the element of the star on the front. I'm going to show you guys how we're going to do that as well. And so just to kind of show you where we're headed, this is the card for today. Just a little bit of fun, a little bit of starriness. And I was debating actually changing when we're making the card together what this element inside of here is going to be and just making it a little bit simpler. I don't know. We'll have to kind of come back to that. But we're going to play. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to assemble the base of the card. Because of the nature of the card, you're going to need 2 sheets of white cardstock. But I still have a lot left over from when I cut the other card. So I always keep it. I mean, I have it just off the side of my camera here. And so I keep that over here for whenever I need to like do the die cut for, let's say, the happy birthday that we're going to add to that. Or if I need to stamp something on a future card, I just kind of have a stash of like little bits of pretty much just the white cardstock and right now the blue because it's left over from what we did earlier. So the first stage, here's some of the stars already die cut, is you're going to go ahead and cut your card a long ways. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and I'm going to cut it to be 4 1/4 because that is the length of our card to make an A2 size card. You could make this any size you want. And if you do that, just when we do the inside flap here, just size this up a little bit is all you would need to do. You could even make this card, if you wanted to, have it go normal opening, and then you could have this flap be opening this way. So there's lots of ways that you can kind of play around with that. I love the design of the horizontal with the star. I think it just worked really well. All right, so cut that down in half, and then you're just going to fold this. I'm trying to show you guys a whole bunch of cards that don't require a ton of fancy equipment to make the folds. Today's fancy equipment is going to be using some dies, but it's stars, and they're nesting stars, which are really fun. I got these ones from Scrapbook.com, and the links for everything, it's kind of a mess because I was hurrying up to get it on there. I'll clean it up a little bit later. The links are down below for you guys to check those things out. Sorry, I'm having the hardest time lining those up to fold. There we go. And not that I'm against bone folding. I'm lazy and I don't feel like pulling out another tool. I feel like I have enough stuff on my desk as it is. So I'd be racing around trying to find that. There we go. I need to keep one just sitting, truthfully, I don't even have a bone folder. The only one I do. I have one, it's a scoring tool that's with my scorer. And so that's where my bone folder is. Okay, so here's the first piece. And then I actually wrote off on the side what my measurements were. And it's 4 1/2. Unfortunately, this only measures to be 4 1/4. So I need a second sheet of paper. So this is where I put this away. And I'm going to grab a second sheet of paper. So what I still have is I have a little bit left over from when I cut from my other card. So I'm just going to use that part. So, got to go to 4 1/2. So 4 1/2. And it needs to be 6 1/2. And I definitely have, because this is an 8.5 11 sheet of paper. So again, I'll save these little white pieces just off to the side here. And then this needs to be 6 1/2. So I have to pull out my little arm mechanism there and then cut that. And there it is. So these are the 2 sheets that you need to make this particular card. There we go. But don't start gluing anything together yet. We got some other stuff to go forth and do. So I got to put this down. So good morning, everybody. Aren't they fun? The star dies are so cool. So just for those people that just jumped on, this is the card that we're making today. And it's a little shaker element inside of there that we're going to add a couple of different elements from just some sequins and then some little pieces that I got from Pretty Pink Posh. And then it opens up and we have this happening. So it's just a little bit of something. And somebody made a good comment on one of the previous cards I had made that I had filled up so many elements on the card that there was no place to do any writing. So this card, I'm leaving this space. On this one, I didn't do that, but the card we're going to make together, I'm just going to do, I think, the happy birthday in this corner, which means it gives you a chance to write around it. And I didn't think about that in all my other cards. I'm thinking, I need to put something on every space. There's also this space up here that you could write something. But I just love that the shaker elements all the way in the back, and how many flaps could I cover up to make it pop through to the front? Anyway, so that's where I was going with this one. I was like, how many loops and flaps can I use and make it be kind of fun? The tricky part is getting everything lined up with your die. So it's not hard. You just have to kind of think ahead. All right. So in terms of getting everything lined up, you have to put a hole, which is what I did here. So if you notice, I have to put a hole because the shaker element's coming through. So I did that for 2 of these. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do it for the lightest color of these. You have to put a hole through, obviously, the front of the card. That's pretty simple. You got to put a hole through both parts of this because I'm matting it to the back, and I'm adding an extra mat to the back as well. I decided I wanted to bring in the other elements, so I did all 3 colors here. So we're going to be adding a mat. So we have 1, 2, 3 holes just for the card that we have to do. So how do you do that? How do you line that up? Well, I don't want to put a hole through the back of my card. I mean, you could, but I don't want to. What I do need to do is put a hole through, and I got to make sure this is lined up just right. I got to put a hole through, and I got to line this up just right through both these sheets and the back sheet, and we're going to cut them all at the same time. And the set that I got, these are from Tonic, these little shaker stars, and this is a refill set that contains 10 of them. The original set, I think, had 3 little shakers, and it came with a star die, which is a perfect match. I'm also going to off-center my star a little bit more. When I first put the star on this one, if you notice, I did it pretty almost smack down in the center of this. I'm going to move it over a tiny bit just to have some fun, which means I'm probably going to have to move this stamp over, maybe down here or something, or maybe up in this corner, because I'm shifting it. And it's not really going to affect the front of my card at all, except that my star is going to be shifted a bit more, which is fine. It just gives it a different element. And I think I'm going to stick it right about there. It's still kind of centered, but it's not too bad. So there we go. And again, we're not die cutting through there. So from here, your key thing to do is to tape this down. Yeah, oh, so somebody made a comment, you can also write on the back of the card. Yes, I have not added any elements to any of the backs of my cards whenever I've done any of these little flippy, floppy, for lack of a better term, I don't know what else to call them besides a flip-flap card. Now, some of them are true folding cards, like an accordion card, but lately they've all been like flippy flaps. I am going to start experimenting with doing like pop-up cards. I think that'd be kind of fun too. I don't know. I guess I just got kind of bored with doing the standard like opening. Not that I don't love just a standard opening card. I think those are fantastic. I just want to play around and do something a little different. Experimentation. It's the key to finding new fun things. So I'm just making sure everything in here that my star is lined up. It's going to cut through the whole thing, and that this sheet is lined up. I feel like this is not quite here. See, this looks off to me. So this is unfortunately, the kind of finicky part, is just making sure that it looks centered. And if it looks centered to your eye, then it is. I mean, you could get out and you could measure and you could do all this fancy stuff, but to me, this was the easiest way to do it. And I got to remember, don't die cut through the back. I mean, if I did die cut to the back, I'm adding a mat anyway, but then the back of my card is going to have a hole. So I don't want to do that. All right, got to pull out the big die cutter for this one. And we're going to go ahead and die cut a few things out at the same time. So I'm going to show you how I also die cut the stars that go in the front. So here we go. We'll run this through. Sorry, it's kind of wiggly. Here we go. Here we go. And then I don't want to move my die cut yet. We have, I got to so I'm just going to have to, it didn't want to go through all 3 sheets. I know it goes through 2 because I did 2 on my first round. Oh no, my washi tape doesn't want to cleanly remove. No bueno. Must be an old washi tape. It did it earlier. Came off super clean before. And I have that purple tape that pulls off clean. I don't know where I stuck it. There's still some left on that roll. Anyway, so here we go. So here's this. Now, this one didn't cut all the way through. I'm going to save my stars and shove them off to the side. Maybe I'll use them for something else. And I've got to redo this. Now, fortunately, it has already left all the impression. This star is a perfect shaped star, meaning that it doesn't have any funny edges or anything like that. I'm just going to use a tiny bit. I don't want to overdo my washi because it's not coming off clean. There we go. So, note to self, this only cuts through 2 sheets of paper, but it leaves an impression on the 3rd, which is handy. So, just want to make sure that is all lined up. So I guess you can't, I wonder if you could go through 4. Would it leave an impression on the 4th? Probably not. And I'm just going to go back because I got more room to open it up this way than I did the other way. I have a cable just off the camera there. Okay, that came off. Not worry about if this sticks. And then if you notice, I also have a little magnetic sheet I've been keeping all my dies on. So that's how I've been kind of keeping organized with that. All right, so to show you guys how the card lays out, just very briefly, that goes there, just comes in here. That's really gonna bug me. Oh, I know, I have a trick. Fortunately, it doesn't work super well, but no, I'm gonna keep it there because we're gonna do a giant stamp on the front, and so this little oopsie is gonna get covered up. I really don't feel like redoing it. And then when we put our shaker element, it's gonna go right there, and so this is how the card is gonna line up. Just like that. And I don't want to glue anything down yet. We're going to get there. So I'm just going to put that off to the side for right now. The next element we're going to do is we are going to start doing our nested stars. So on the card itself, we have a dark blue, which I have already die cut. So we have the dark blue that goes on the outside. And I just trimmed off with scissors the extra, which I'll show you later. So here we have the dark blue. Then I have a light blue. And what I did is I took the largest star, cut the dark blue, and then I cut not the same size, not the smallest star. I went up a size, just one little size, and that's what I die cut out. So it gave me, if you notice, it gives me some room, but it's not quite as big as the blue one. So it gives me room to kind of wiggle and make sure everything is lined up. So in case I'm not perfect, I got some room to groove. I did the same thing with this one, and now we're going to do the light blue together. For this one, I do have to use the correct size of star because I want it to nest right smack in line. And I'm using not the size up. I'm giving myself a space here. I jumped up a little bit. So I'm using, I skipped a size in between. They're not the same set, but I was lucky. The set that came from scrapbook.com and the set that came from Tonic, they're pretty darn close. If you can tell, these ones are a little bit rounded, this is a little bit pointy, but the size of the star, like how the points are lined up and stuff, were pretty darn identical. So all I need to do is just line it up like this. And then I'm not liking that washi tape, so I'm going to grab a new one. Maybe my green will be easier to pull off. Some of these washies are really old, and maybe they're just the stickies starting to get kind of funky. So I'm just taping them together to make sure they don't shift around on me. And I'm just using, seriously, I went into my cardstock and what color theme do I want to make this card? And I'm a blue girl, so I gravitated towards blue. I picked out 3 shades that went really well together. There we go. And that's where I went with it. There we go. So now we have the hole in the center of the card, just because I centered it perfectly. Well, as perfectly as my eyeballs showed me. And then I'm going to put my dies back on here so I don't lose them. I love having this little magnetic sheet next to me. This is from Stamp and Storage, and it's a 5x7, and it's already got like a cardboard backing. You're supposed to use this to like store in some sort of filing thing, but I had it sitting on my desk, and I had all these dies, and I always lose them. I was like, why don't I use this on my desk to actually help myself organize? And it's been fantastic. I'm just putting my die away real fast to my die cut machine. Okay, so now it's a matter of lining everything up. The next thing is I have 2 of these little stars that are left over. And in my original card, I didn't want to have the lighter color in the background. I wanted to have the darker color. So what I did is I used that, which is this star right here. And look at this. It matches perfectly. It just fits right on there. I have no gaps, so I'm good to go. So I can go ahead and make my shaker element right now. And then I can stick this to the back of it. And it already comes with an adhesive, which I think is great. So awesome. So I'm going to throw some of these little pretty pink posh Jimmy things in there. And unfortunately, when I cleaned up one time, look, I got fuzz and stuff. I don't know how to get rid of that. So we're just going to do it by hand. And there's a rogue red. So I'm getting rid of the red. I am still trying to hunt down and figure out a fun way to store all of my small little shaker bits and sequins. I think I have a method, but I don't know. Right now it is a mess. They're in a bag. They're in little bags, which I don't mind the little bags. I think that's kind of handy because you keep all the colors together. It's kind of a pain to put them back into the bag. Oh, this is going to be I dumped them out. Let's see if I can do this. I didn't do a very good job. You guys can't see what I'm doing off camera, but I'm trying to like go off the edge of the table and pull them. I love little shaker bits. I love all these little things, but they're so finicky and tiny, and it's just there. And then, so this is the problem. I have so many sequins, and I have them in big, giant plastic bags, and I think I just need to transfer them. But I don't know if like all of these would fit into a little baggie. And I know somebody said that you could put a whole bunch of them into like one of those. Like I have all my embroidery thread, and it's like a case. Like they're like this big. You open up the lid, and it has a whole bunch of little sections. But they don't fully seal at the top. And so, and my daughter gets into these things, and she's 6. And so she will end up picking it up, or it gets dropped sideways or something. And then everything gets all mixed up, and that's just going to drive me crazy. So I was going to say a very bad word there, but I didn't. I held it back. Okay. So now I have my shaker bits in here. I'm going to pull off my tape because this already is sticky, which I love. And then I'm going to pick up my little star, make sure my star has nothing that's on it that doesn't need to be seen, and then lay that just as close to perfect as I can. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm flipping it over, and you can add as much or as little. I don't want to add too much because I definitely want it to shake around. And I wanted it to show, I thought, well, let's put blue sequins, but then I had a blue background so that wouldn't be seen. So that's why I thought a few of these fun little blue guys, and you can see them. And then the silver really does pop really well. And there's your little shaker element. I love that. I don't know why I think that's just the coolest thing ever, but it is. Something about being able to, I don't know, the cards, being able to go, it's just silly. Oh, you have this. Oh, let me add this on. So there's a sequin storage. Cool. I'll have to check that out. I'm always hunting for new ways to store stuff, or little tips and tricks, like my little magnetic thing. That was a total fluke. I know they've had one that's been like a little thing that sits on your desk and it looks like a diamond. And I forget who came out with those, and things stick to it. But I think it was meant for like your needles and stuff, but it doesn't work for giant dies, which is where I came up with this concept. And then I'll put it back to where it belongs on my magnetic die storage on my wall. So yay. All right, so here is my little shaker element. And the next thing I can do is go ahead and put my mats on the back. And I did cut, I want this one in the back for sure. So I'm going to put that on there. And I'm just using glue for everything just to make my life easy, instead of pulling out a bunch of different stuff. This is my Supertite glue. There's a coupon code for the glue down below, so you guys can get your hands on that. And for everybody else who's just jumped on, I have to look at the table for the most part, but good morning, everybody. I kind of glance up and see stuff. Oh yeah, the flower thing. I saw that flower thing. I'm just wondering if you knock it over, and I'm running out of table space. That's my other problem. I have all these issues in my space. You know, I'm running out of table space. I have a very small room that I work out of. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to attack all that. It's a pain. See, I'm liking that a whole lot better. I only had one mat here, but I already glued this down, and there's no way I'm going to be able to rip that up. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm making a second card, and the 2 layers of mats look so much better. So we're going to do that. And I just think it adds that little pop and oomph. And then this one is going to go in there, and it gives us that pop of that final color. I'm not going to glue everything down yet because we got to do stuff to this card first. So there it is, just like that. Very pretty. Okay, so I don't want to put all this down yet because we have some stamping we're going to be doing on here. And so the first stamp I want to do is this fun star stamp that we've got going on. So we're going to do that first. I have it all set up from when I did it last night. Got to put the lid on my glue before it dries out. There we go. So when I had this out, this is a stamp, and you can see I already I didn't even bother cleaning it because I'm using it again. This is a stamp that came from Ann Butler. It's so cool. It's like full of stars. And it was like, okay, I've got these star shaker elements. And I was going through my stamps and trying to find stamps that had stars. And I thought, I'm going to make this a birthday card and have something all about being, you know, like you're a star and stuff like that. And I came across this background star stamp. Like, I have to use it. It's just, the whole theme is blue stars. And once I kind of had a thought process of a theme for the card, it made life easier about what to do next. And so then I had, okay, now I got to put all the elements together, get them on there. So I'm just rubbing. This is a ink pad from Clear Snap. And I love it because it has a couple of different elements of blue shades, and I'm just making a little bit of a kind of an ombre between the two shades, and then running it over with a lighter shade. I'm going over and covering up this part, and then kind of going in between, doing a little bit of a blend right in the middle there, and then pop this back on. And then I'm not even going to bother lining. Here it is. Just placing this right in the middle. I can already tell where my stamp is set here because it's been resting up against here. Line this up as best as I can, and then just stamp it. And this is kind of a one-shot deal because I didn't put any magnets down because I want the entire front cover to be covered, but I should be, ooh, it's a little off. Oh well. It probably didn't shift. I don't know. Do you think, I'm tempting fate by, no, we're leaving it. I am tempting fate by trying to restamp. I know there's so many stars, but then you would get this funky, so we're just going to go with it. Be done. I'll clean the stamp after we are done filming. I don't think you guys need to see me how to clean the stamp. All right, the next thing is on this inside flap, I'm going to keep it simple. I found a stamp set. This one's from Concord and Ninth that just had happy birthday, and it had a star. And so I think maybe, because I didn't do this last time, is I pulled this out because it had a star and it had the word happy birthday. I was like, that's perfect. But I didn't use a star in the last one. Maybe I'll just use a couple of stars. So I'll do happy birthday and then just a couple of stamp stars and be very simple on that. So I don't want to get out my Misty right now because it's all gross. So we're going to do it this way. So I'm going to lay down my birthday and then my happy. Oops. So is anybody's birthday coming up? Mine's not until September. I got all summer to go. Oh, Spellbinders has a diamond shaped one. And then Scrapping Made Simple has a flat one. Very cool. Okay. So like everybody's got other options for how to keep track of all the storage that you have on your desk for your, it really does make a difference on how you handle things. And some of those dies are so tiny, let me tell you, they're itty bitty. There we go. It's not perfect. You know what? I'm at the point where sometimes I also think it's partly, it's maybe the stamp a little bit, could be pushed too hard. There's days when perfection is awesome, and then days when it's like, you know, I'm the only one who's really going to know that it was not bang on perfect. All right, pulling out my stamps again, and I'm going to do one light blue. So I'm going to do the light blue color first. And this is one that I do have to kind of wait. I can't close my card. I'm going to leave a little bit of sentiment room right there. So I'm going to do a little star right there. There we go. And then come in with a darker blue just to tie in from the previous page. And I think I need one more blue one up there. So right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4 elements on the page. And I like to have an odd number. I think odd looks better than even. It just looks more pleasing to the eye. So we're going to go up here. And I chose a darker color because that's where I was at. I always have to make sure my hands are not inky. So I'm just going to leave. Oh, we got to do one more stamp. Shoot. And I have no paper towels handy. Of course I don't. Of course I don't. Inevitability. I didn't do this part. Okay, clean my hands really good. Just rubbing my hands together to clean them off. And then I'm going to get a little bit of extra paper and just clean off my stamp. It's a chalk ink, which I love in so many ways because you can blend it and do stuff. It does tend to get a little messy. But I love I get so many different colors in one ink set. I think that's so fun. And then I can kind of match the colors as best as possible. All right, so now we are going to, where's my card here? We're going to work on the inside flap while I let that kind of dry out. And so here's the star. I can easily fit the other one because I shifted the star. I forgot. It doesn't shift it this way on this flap. So I had just got finished, and this is a little bit of a heads up. There is a massive video hop, which some of you may already know about. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm going to show a little tip. Go over the TH with a black pen. Ooh, smart idea. I'm going to do that. Thank you. I'll do that in a minute. But I want to give you guys a heads up. There's a massive video hop that's going on right now. It's in a video that it looks like this. And this is the card. A little bit of an inspiration for what we have going on with this card right now. But there's a ton of prizes on this, and it's just leaving comments. I want to say there's about 30, 35 of us that are part of this video hop. So just going through and leaving a comment, and I think there's over 100 prizes. There's prizes from a whole bunch of different companies that are giving out gift cards and stuff. So, and some great inspiration for cards. That is my card. So if you want to head over, I don't have the link handy, I'm sorry. But, you know, if you just go back to my main page, you will see that. So I'm just going to put the You're a Star, maybe center it down a little bit right there. So if you notice, I'm kind of doing all the elements before I assemble the card. That's usually backwards from what I normally do. But it's because I want to make sure I have everything in line. So there we go, You're a Star. And I can't do the front until I put my shaker bit in because, well, I could just go around the star, but it makes it easier having the shaker element in there. But I kind of do the shaker element as the last, because then I'm dealing with a three-dimensional object in there, and trying to stamp around that is a pain in the tuchus, let me tell you. All right, so she said get a black pen. Let me see if I have one right here. This is black. Where's my scratchy paper? Black. Oh, my black pen ran out. Okay, that's garbage. Black pen, black pen, black pen. Here, get another one. There we go. All right, so go over with my black pen. Thank you for the tip. Smart, smart tip. And just got to be careful to stay in the lines. Very cool. Thank you for that awesome tip. I appreciate that. I love it when you guys give me great tips. So much fun. There we go. I almost want to go over all of it, but I'm not going to do that with you. But that definitely cleaned it up and made the birthday look a whole lot better. Woo! I have the Pet Safe ink pad in brown I bought for my late puppy. They have Pet Safe ink. Oh, like you could do their paws with? Fun. I'm thinking that's what you mean by like you could put it on their paws, and if they lick it, it's no big deal. That's what I'm assuming. All right, I'm going to come back and add all the fun elements, because now I've done all the stamping. The stamping is the part that would be very difficult to do outside of the card. All right, so now I am going to do, oh, I was going to do this mat. Yes, I just didn't get it down. So today is kind of an interesting day in our family. We are, speaking of puppies, we are puppy sitting, and I'm so sorry about your puppy. I'm sorry. Oh, you stamped all of her paws with it when she was sick. That's cool. So we're puppy sitting for a friend. All of our pets have passed away. 5 years ago was the last one. We had 2 dogs and a cat, and they've all gone on their merry way, and they've had a live long life. And so we haven't had any, I just have too many kids to have any more pets. So there we go. This is how this looks. Easiest way to apply everything is just use a wet glue, and then therefore it can kind of get centered, and especially as I put the front flap on. So I don't want to use a tape runner. I could, but then I'm kind of stuck. Wet glue, I've got a little bit of wiggle room to make sure that everything is set into place. So I'm just going to put those 2 pieces together right here. Pop this in the center here, and then do a little flipperoonie. And this is where I'm trying to get as close to centered as possible in there, and then just make sure that this lines up, and then there you go. And that's how you do that. Ta-da! Very cool, right? Simple. All right, and then I love just the simplicity of that element in there. Just a nice happy birthday, and somebody can write something on there. So my kids are through the moon about the fact that we are puppy sitting. It's this little multi-poo that's going to be coming to our house. It's a friend who, she's a country singer, like a professional country singer, and she's going to Nashville to do some singing. I think she's at the Grand Ole Opry. She's got a whole bunch of set dates, so she needed like somebody to watch the dog for a little while. It's like, guess what? My kids are gonna love that. We are all on board with that concept. So yeah, we get to watch the puppy. His name is Pongo. Okay, so now we're gonna line up and do our stars. The easiest way I found is the same thing, using the wet glue. So I'm going to come in with the wet glue on the first star, and I can always rearrange it and kind of get it centered, but get it as centered as possible and lined up just as perfectly as I possibly can, just like that. And then I come in with the last one, and I've got to go right to the edge, because if you notice, I cut almost about the same size. So if I go too close to the edge, I'm missing where all my glue goes. And I'm doing this off my card so I don't mess up my card. Okay, so now I'm going to come into here. And everything should line up nice and neat. And there it is. Ta-da! And then come in with my glue here again. Get all those fun layers on there. And at first I was like, no, I need to add some more sparkle to the front. And I was like, no, you know, looking at the card, I kind of like the simplicity of and the cleanness of the card because there's a lot happening. And the shaker element really does have a lot going on when you think about it. You don't want to deter from the main focal. So that's why I had everything focusing in onto that fun star. And I liked making the star off center because then it makes it look, I don't know, a little bit more fun. Oh, you're in Nashville. When is she performing? You know, I don't even know her schedule. She's performing at, oh, shoot. Oh, I'd have to look it up. But I know she's at least 5 or 6 different venues over the course of the time that she is there. She's got something every night. She lives here in Austin, but her name is Heather Victorino, if you want to go find her. So it's pretty fun. And so I met her because we both go to the same workout place. And I just thought it was kind of cool that that's what she does for a living. And then I told her what I kind of do, and I do all this crafty stuff, and when I work for multiple companies. So we both kind of were like, that's a cool job. So we went off with that. All right. So initially, when I did my card, I was trying to play with where do I want the happy birthday? And I thought, oh, black would look cool, but there's really no good place unless I really tilted this and had this come, but I liked it overlapping the star. I thought that was cool. And then I stepped away and thought, I'm really not seeing that, but I can't do it where it's half coming off because then you miss part of the birthday. So I thought, well, let's do a shadow effect. So I die cut right here. This is from Paper Whimsies. I think it's Stamp Whimsies or something like that. It's a little happy birthday. And I think I'm going to have it come just a tiny bit off. And I want to see if I can still see it when I do the double. So can we still, yeah, because I'm shading it, you can still see the birthday. So we're going to go with that. Just give it a little bit more room. I didn't go as far, but I also shifted my star a little bit. So this is my trick to you guys. This is where having this one glue is just, that's why I grabbed it, because I'm using it for everything. I'm going to put tiny little dots on the back of this. And I made the boo-boo mistake because I just went ahead and plopped it down and realized some of the spots where I'm putting the glue is a little thicker than others. And it seeped out. I was like, and it got my paper wet and it was all gross. And it's actually dried very clear and you can't tell. At the time, it bugged the crap out of me. So what I'm doing is I'm going to kind of put this down on a sheet of paper real fast and just very gently, just kind of wipe with my finger any excess. And it's just evening it out. And then now I'm going to come in and place it where I want it. I want it right about there. And I'm lining, and I also put my birthday on crooked on the other one. Oops. You didn't see that. My fingers are sticky because I just messed with the glue. That's what I was pulling up. So there we go. And this one's on hard as a rock now. So there's the birthday, but see, it kind of hides. I don't think I can really see it. What a great idea. I'm like, oh, the cat paws thing. Yeah, that's cool. I did it with my kids. I took paint on there. At first I tried it with my oldest and doing his hands, and that did not work. So I just stuck with feet from then on out. And I did it when they were 6 months old, and I painted their feet with just acrylic paint and in bright colors, reds, blues, oranges, greens, yellows. And I took a canvas, and then I just stamped their feet basically in the paint. So we have a little footprint, and then I wrote the name on there, their name on there. And so it's hanging up, and there's for all my, well, all but one of my kids, because she didn't make it to 6 months. But I'm trying to figure out a way of how to do her footprint, because I did them at 6 months and I was waiting for when she turned 6 months, but she never made it. But I have a stamp, like we did they did a stamp of her foot. Thought maybe I could figure out a way to make like they took her foot with ink and then stamped it. Maybe I'll figure out a way to do something with that. It's been humming in my head for a while because I feel like it's missing. I like to stick the glue side of the paper quickly, and that evens out the glue too. Oh, that's a good idea. Cool. All right, so now I'm just going to come right over top of this and create that shadow effect with my sticky fingers. And there we go. And there it is. And then you can really see that happy birthday. It all just pops out really, really well. Okay, so now I just need to trim my star. I mean, you can totally leave your card big like that. It'd be kind of cool. And just get a bigger envelope to stick it in. So that'd be kind of a different way of doing a card. The only problem is you'd have to cut this one. So I decided that if I'm going to cut the one, because otherwise the card won't open, right? And then you've got, it looks like, you know, your card's got rocket fins. So I decided just to go ahead and cut them off and be done with it. So I'm just taking a pair of scissors. You could get out your tape runner again, but I'm just taking my scissors and just cutting. I didn't want to do this too close to me cutting it down. I really wanted to wait. And there's a couple of spots where I didn't get the glue. I can always come in and add just a tiny bit more glue because I didn't over glue before I stuck it down, and just kind of hitting some of those little corners like right here that didn't get glue, and therefore it doesn't get caught and have a problem. So that is the front of our card, a very clean, just very kind of powerful. Really letting the shaker and the stars kind of do its thing right there. There we go. Fun, fun, fun. And then on the inside, we have the Your Star. So now I have all these little bits left over from when I was cutting my paper, and I have a little star punch. And so again, like I said, theme with stars. And so I am just going to punch, and I always punch upwards because I want to see, and then I flip it over just to make sure my punch goes the other direction. Oops, there we go. And so I'm just going to punch a few of these. Real fast. And then we're going to also add some sequins. And I did find I had a method I used last time, which is where I went through and I placed my stars down. I just kind of dropped them. I didn't really place them. I just dropped them. And that gave it more of a random feel. There we go. These, and then I can kind of switch. Like I had two colors that were too close together. Didn't like that. And then I'm coming in with some of my sequins. And I did the same thing. I just kind of dropped them. Really made it a little more random. And then obviously it's not perfect, but I can kind of come in and place. And it ties in the sequins from here. It adds a little something fun on this element. There we go. And then if I feel like there's a gap somewhere or I didn't drop the way I wanted it to, I can always come in and add a few more. Now, obviously, there's not glued down yet, so I had a little trick. Put one more there. And so I have my little katana and I have my glue stick. And all I did is I picked up, oops, and then I added a dot, dot, and then put down. And the little tiny dot was big enough to grab. I just can't close this quite yet because my sequins have a little hole in the middle and it would seep through and stick to the other side of the card. So I left the card faced open for a little while. And at the time I did both this and this. And so I left it open for a while. So I just thought, you know, there's so much going on. It's so clean and linear on the front that when I, that one's done, that when I opened it, I wanted it to look a little more crazy. Just to kind of, it didn't look so matchy-matchy as the card went along, just having something fun. And the stars I punched out are not a perfect star like the rest of the card. They're a little different. I thought that was kind of fun. So it's just kind of playing around with the concept of a star. And you could use any kind of happy birthday. I mean, I used a happy birthday stamp on the inside here. I used a happy birthday die. I used the happy, then I put the Your Star to kind of tie that in because I happen to have, and I remembered that stamp set because I just used it for the card in the video hop. So a little meticulous. This is definitely a two-handed job and you have to get really good about being ambidextrous. Pick up, put down, pick up, put down, pick up, put down. See, where have I missed? I'm trying to go clockwise so I don't miss any. Oops, there we go. This definitely makes life a little easier having a tool. There we go. A little bit of crazy fun on that side. There we go. Sorry, I'm just reading all your comments. Oh, you did paper clay and did pot imprints. That's cool. I love that concept. And that's it. I mean, you could definitely add a little bit more if you wanted to, but I love just, I mean, there's so much going on with the stars that I really didn't want to add too much to that. I don't want to fully close the card, but you get the idea. You open up, you got some room to write now. I'm kind of thinking ahead on that one. Somebody did say you could write on the back, which is totally cool. And then here is the front of the card. I'm not going to open this one because it's still drying, but we can flip flap this guy. And you can tell the second mat really does make a difference. I mean, I don't think I can pop. Oh, I can. Look at that. I'm totally doing that right now. I have the darker card and I already cut that to size because I wasn't sure which one. So it bugs me. It looks so much better with that second mat on there. Haha. Oh, but now I got this on there. Fudgers. Let's see if I can do this. I don't know if I can do it. Oh. Yes. Haha. Sorry, that was bugging me. Do you guys all rip cards apart too? Am I the only weird one that does that? Anybody else do that? And I know I'm using a darker color, but that's cool. It'll make the cards look a little bit different from each other. So, all right. So now just going back and relining up and doing what we did before when I set my card down. So it might be a little lumpy. Get some of these pieces off. But that took a little oomph to get that glue off there. I mean, it was stuck on. So, or do you guys just let your cards be? Or would you recut out and redo the whole thing? I don't know. I'm not sure how. Oh, that looks so much better. Okay, let's make sure this is lined up. Okay. You guys rip your cards up. But you know, look, it's just a little bit of effort. I mean, I was being very careful. I wasn't being super like, you know, and ripping it up. I kind of checked to see if it would work. And there, oh yeah, seeing just that mat on there, that really makes all the difference. Very fun. Oh, and I didn't realize the stars look very similar. The ones that I could almost get away with just adding more stars here of the punched ones, but I wanted something different. So each element has something different. So here's the front of the card. Then you open it up. A little something kind of going on there, and then a little extra on the inside for this one. And then for this one, it's just a standard plain happy birthday. I think I don't know which one do you guys like better. Do you like it with more of the stuff or just a little bit cleaner? I'm not sure. No recutting. I'm with you. I'm with you on the no recutting. I don't like the recutting either. So just a little something bright and fun and cheery. And you could totally pick any kind of color theme. I went with blue because I love blue, but you could really kind of pick any kind of color scheme that you want there. You go with reds, go with pinks, go with purples, go with greens, yellows. You can mix and match colors. It doesn't have to be just one color. It does make it easy if you stick with one color though, because then you're not worried about having too much happening because there's already a lot. Between, like, I have a whole lot going on here. There's a shaker element. There's flaps going on. So when you start doing a lot of stuff, it really makes it kind of busy. All right, there's one other thing I want to give you guys a heads up on, and you may have already noticed or have seen it, but there is another giveaway. I have a lot of giveaways happening right now. This giveaway is from Bloom Planners. There is a video that's like an unboxing, kind of a product review. It's on my channel as well. And it's a bunch of fun stuff. And there is a prize pack that is over, I think, $200. Basically, everything I'm showing you guys in the video is part of the prize pack. And it's simple as leaving a comment and then Bloom, because they're being so generous, they would just love you guys if you would follow one of their social medias, and the links are going to be down below. So if you've not had a chance to head over to that video to check out all the Bloom planners and calendar ideas, and that's what this mat is actually the back side of their planner. It's the big desk calendar, but I love the background of it because it makes it a nice sturdy, and it's kind of a neutral color for when I do my videos. It's getting kind of yucky though, so I'm glad they sent me a new one. I got a new one now to play with when this one gets really gross. But so that's some of the fun things that I have from them. So we even have a meal planning one, which was really kind of fun. So go check out that video, and it's a chance to win that just by leaving a comment. And those are both going on both the card video, the video hop, the Save to Craft to YouTuber hop. There's chances for prizes. Almost every channel has a chance for a prize. And then there's some prizes that she's picking randomly that we have extra prizes that are coming as well. So lots of cool stuff from that. All right, I am unfortunately not going to be able to come live next week because we have some friends coming into town and they're staying with us next Wednesday. And I don't want to be having to do a live video while we have friends here. So next week's will be a recorded video. But the week after that, I believe I can be coming back live. Good news with some of the lives for the summer. I don't know if it's good news or bad news, but my son's super excited. He's going to come help moderate. My oldest son, he's moderated a couple other videos I've done in the past, and so he will be here for that. And so he'll be jumping on and helping catch some of the questions that I missed earlier in the videos, because I have to kind of go back and forth between what I'm looking on my screen off the side that way and what I'm trying to focus on right here. So there will be some other recorded videos because it's summer and my kids are home and we have vacations and camps. I'm not always home during the Wednesday time to do, but there will always be a video, just may not be live, is my point. So again, thanks so much for stopping by. I do have most of the links down below where you can guys get your supplies. They are affiliate links, which means that if you click on it, sometimes just clicking on it earns me a little bit of money, and sometimes your purchase will give me a little bit of money back, but it's at no cost to you. It's just if you want to purchase something because you saw something you liked. But there we go. All right, so hopefully you guys have all subscribed. I think you guys all have. I hope you have an amazing day and you had a fun weekend, and it's kind of stopped off on the chat, but I will sign off and say goodbye, everybody. Oh, you like that my son's going to come moderate? Yes. He enjoys it. I think he likes the interaction. So talk him up. Talk him up. He loves it. Plus, it's good for him. He gets a chance to typing some more. All right. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye-bye, everybody.